Just ahead on CTV News, the first presidential debate of 2024 was last night. We have reaction.
It was interesting. It's what we're dealing with right now. There's no one perfect fix, right? So there was some good and bad in a lot of things.
And the county's fire chief announces a new plan to tackle staffing shortages. Plus, a serial rapist pleads guilty.
These cases are difficult to prove because it is a matter of educating our jurors and our community that people who are under the influence of drugs or alcohol cannot consent.
Those stories and more, CTV News starts now.
Good evening. This is CTV News for June 28th. I'm Katara Jones.
And I'm Mariah Jalad. Thanks for joining us. Last night's presidential debate was a hard one to watch for Democrats as Joe Biden and Donald Trump went at it for 90 minutes. President Biden faltered early on, with many saying he never seemed to regain his footing. For his part, Trump appeared to be in charge of his faculties. The candidates hit on a number of topics, including the economy, illegal immigration, and abortion. Trump tried to deflect blame about the January 6th insurrection and evaded answering whether he would accept the results of the election if he lost. One of the key topics, immigration.
When he was president, he was separating babies from their mothers, putting them in cages, making sure the families were separated. That's not the right way to go. What I've done since I've changed the law, what's happened? I've changed it in a way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. That's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we had the safest border in the history of our country. The border, all he had to do was leave it. All he had to do was leave it. He decided to open up our border, open up our country to people that are from prisons, people that are from mental institutions, insane asylum.
The idea they're emptying their prisons, we're welcoming these people, that's simply not true. There's no data to support what he said. Once again, he's exaggerating, he's lying.
Registered voters who watched CNN's presidential debate between Biden and Trump largely think Trump outperformed Biden.
According to a CNN poll of debate watchers conducted by SSRS, 67% of watchers say Trump turned in a better performance, with the current president garnering only 33% of the vote. CTV's news team went out to hear how voters in the county felt about last night's debate.
What did you think about the debates last night?
I thought it was an unfortunate pairing in that Biden did not do as well as he should have. I think the policy was on his side. I think Trump was full of lies. And I think, unfortunately, neither the moderators nor Biden called him out on it. It was more Trump, Trump, Trump. I think Biden is a good man. I think Trump is a liar.
They both got problems with each other. But the thing about it is that I think Trump gonna win.
Really tells the division between both sides and both parties.
Most definitely. Mom, this is your son?
My nephew.
Your nephew. So he seems like, as a young gentleman, very in tune with what's going on. What about you? Was your mind changed based on what you saw last night?
My mind wasn't changed, but I think that we as a nation, no matter what happens in the presidential outcome, I think we as a nation need to unite and come together and have tolerance for everyone. And I think the only way we can come together as a nation is through peace and understanding and tolerance.
If the question is, am I still focused? Yeah, my vote is still the same. It doesn't change.
So the debate did not change your vote?
No, if anything, I think I heard it said best last night that, all that debate did last night was assure things that people already knew. I mean, we have one side that doesn't really tell the truth, and we do know the other side is a little bit older. But That didn't show anything different. I wouldn't have expected less of a performance from a gentleman his age. But his track record speaks for itself. His decisions have still been right. So there's no problem with that. And the amount of fact-checking need to be done on the other side is no shock, especially if we've already done this dances with the MAGA party. So facts are still facts, right?
The next presidential debate between the two is scheduled to take place on Tuesday, September 10th. And Governor Wes Moore is headed to the Midwest to rally support from Black voters for the Biden-Harris campaign. Moore will be making stops in Milwaukee, Madison, and Kenosha this weekend, speaking to Black voters across the state at multiple events. Moore hopes he can persuade Black voters that another Trump presidency will be an economic disaster for Black communities.
Prince George's County Council Chair Jolene Ivey is running for the at-large seat, recently vacated by Mel Franklin, who's facing embezzlement charges. Ivey was first elected to council in 2018, representing the 5th District. Her colleagues named her council chair for the current session. Ivey says in addition to keeping her chair seat, an at-large seat provides an even larger platform.
By being able to reach a wider group of people, it'll make it more impactful. So when I'm talking about things like accessibility and housing, which is a big issue for me, I think that I'll be able to reach more people and get more people engaged on these issues. So it's going well, and I'm happy to be in the race.
The special primary election is slated for August 6th, followed by the general election on November 5th. Candidates have until July 5th to file their certificate for candidacy for the at-large seat with the Board of Elections. And the U.S. Supreme Court issues major rulings today, including a reversal of a 40-year-old decision. Now, without specific instructions from Congress, federal agencies have no power to institute rules and regulations. And a second ruling issued today says cities can punish people for sleeping in public places even if shelters are full. The case could be used to influence homelessness policy in cities around the country. In the last 5 years, homelessness in Prince George's County increased by 47%.
In other Supreme Court news, the High Court ruled that the Justice Department overstepped by bringing obstruction charges against hundreds of rioters at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th back in 2021. The Supreme Court also ruled that the charges could still be filed if prosecutors are able to demonstrate that rioters were attempting to not just push their way into the building, but rather stop the process to certify the results of the election.
And new staffing allocation plans for fire stations around the county have had residents sounding the alarms, concerned that the firefighters they depend on to keep them safe won't be around when they're needed. The new plan was announced by the county fire department and moves career firefighters from several stations to other locations based on need. Department officials are assuring the public that they have no reason to be concerned and that fire systems will still work just as they should, like in this fire earlier today. Just after 11 this morning, dozens of firefighters were dispatched to Landover for a townhouse fire. Crews quickly put the fire out, making sure none of the people inside were hurt. As they continued their operation, Fire Chief Tiffany Green was getting ready to address a major concern in the county. If this happens to me in my home, will firefighters be there in time?
Every day, Prince George's County Fire Department deploys resources all over the county. This fire is a perfect example of that. There are stations that are responding to this fire that are not in the neighboring area. They do that based on GPS and the availability of those units, and they respond appropriately. The 55 personnel that we are redeploying are going into existing vacancies all throughout the county. And that's the goal, again, to ensure that they're not called back for mandatory overtime and holdovers, but we are filling the existing vacancies and spreading out our resources throughout the entire county.
The county currently faces a shortage of 251 career firefighters. While the staff is temporarily moved, residents of the cities where they were located worry they won't be able to depend on fire services. But officials say they'll be there when emergencies happen.
Obviously, when a 911 call comes in, we use a program that's called AVL. It actually pinpoints the location of these apparatus and determining what we need for the type of call. It'll actually locate it and send the closest units. So the units here were the closest units available to respond to this call, and that's how they're sent. That's to ensure that we're sending the closest, quickest resources to the emergency calls where they're located. But we're constantly monitoring our system. So when we see service gaps, we do this every day. We do it right now. We do it today. We did it yesterday. We moved a unit from Chapel Oaks to Laurel to cover a service gap. We do that every day.
Those staffing changes will go into effect this Sunday. Despite assurances, residents want to know if the changes put them in any danger.
Absolutely not. What I will tell them is our mission is to serve. And every single day, we do that every single day. The men and women that responded to this call today, we're resilient as a county. Our career and our volunteer firefighters are going to step up and do what we need to do to get through this temporary reallocation plan until we have enough firefighters to cover our stations.
A shooting leaves 1 dead and 1 wounded in Suitland yesterday. The incident took place on the 4700 block of Town Park Road at about 6:40 p.m. The victim, who is a juvenile, died on the scene. Another individual who was wounded was taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police are asking for the public's help. Anyone with information on the incident is urged to call Prince George's County Crime Solvers. A New Carrollton man accused of sexually assaulting multiple teen girls reaches a plea deal. 39-year-old Julian Everett pleaded guilty to 3 counts of second-degree rape. Prosecutors say from 2005 to 2016, Everett picked up 3 teen girls, gave them alcohol that was laced with an unknown substance, and raped them at his home on the 6000 block of Westbrook Drive in New Carrollton. Officials say 4 victims came forward in this case. However, 2 of the victims were Howard University students at the time.
One of the things I want to share with victims is that you cannot blame yourself. Oftentimes, people look at, well, if that person, did he look like a rapist or a predator? Oftentimes, these individuals just look like normal, everyday people. And so we don't want victims to feel like they somehow put themselves in jeopardy and that it was their fault. It was not their fault.
Everett faces a maximum of 25 years in prison. His sentencing is scheduled for January of next year, and just last week, Everett pleaded guilty to federal charges of kidnapping a minor and possession of child porn involving a teenager he drove from D.C. to his home in Maryland. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Katara Jones.
And I'm Mariah Jalad. Still to come, a local school district is under fire for mishandling funds.
And we'll have that story and more after the break.
We are the nation's largest integrated healthcare system, providing life-changing care to over 9 million veterans.
Our hands are busy, competent, skilled, healing, helping, and friendly. A place where diverse teams come together hand in hand to provide full patient-centered care. Working in state-of-the-art facilities with influential leaders in healthcare, all with a single goal in mind: to help veterans heal, recover, and get their lives back. In a place where everyone plays a part, and where your efforts are truly appreciated. A place so innovative and forward-thinking that we're rebuilding hands, and where even robots lend a hand.
Join hands with us. Learn more at vacareers.va.gov.
Our connections make powerful things happen, uniting individuals and communities. We are Rotary. We are people of action. With over 1 million members, we know what people can do when they come together. Around the world, generations of leaders build new friendships and solve problems, turning great ideas into reality. Take action with us. Find out more at rotary.org/action.
Hi, I'm the Big C. Hey, look at this beautiful couple. I knew as soon as I said that, I was like, don't say it. don't assume. Did you know more than 2 people die from skin cancer every hour?
Oh, man.
It's a bummer, but the good news is skin cancer is a cancer you can see, so you can go get checked. You can check each other regularly, make it romantic. Turns out I'm a matchmaking mirror. You're welcome. Love might be in the air.
U.S. Senate candidate Larry Hogan reveals his plans for the economy, and he hasn't wavered since his turn as the state's governor. The 5-point agenda includes lowering taxes on retirees, increasing access to affordable housing, reducing healthcare costs, and opposing policies that would increase the cost of living. This anti-tax, pro-business approach is the same he had as governor, and at a campaign stop this week, Hogan said he'd bring that approach to the Senate if elected.
A U.S. Army veteran has been found guilty in federal court for getting more than $750,000 in Social Security and disability benefits by claiming falsely he was paralyzed. Investigators say 43-year-old William Rich of Windsor Hills, who had been injured in Iraq in 2005 and was temporarily paralyzed, was seen in investigators arriving in a wheelchair by an appointment at a VA hospital, but was spotted later walking to his car where he put the wheelchair in the trunk of his vehicle. Also, pictures posted on his social media account show Rich standing and lifting weights. He could face up to 30 years behind bars.
And Governor Wes Moore launches the Cannabis Workforce Development Program to support Marylanders interested in joining the state's growing cannabis industry. The program will be free to eligible applicants, and officials say it will help reduce barriers to employment and create paths to sustainable jobs in the cannabis industry. Participants will have access to courses taught by industry experts and an intensive in-person course for hands-on training. The governor's office says the program will prioritize individuals with a history of cannabis-related offenses. Applications open on July 1st.
A new report reveals that the Montgomery County Public School System mismanaged emergency funds totaling about $210,000. The Office of the Inspector General found that MCPS used emergency procurement money on crisis management and communication services. The misuse of funds related to the sexual harassment investigation involving former principal Dr. Joe Budelman. Meantime, the Montgomery County Education Association criticized MCPS, saying, quote, "Unfortunately, this discourse does little to help the district repair its credibility in the community."
And Maryland Teachers Union president is stepping down after 6 years in the job. Cheryl Boast will leave her post on August 1st as she will retire from the profession after being an elementary school teacher for 35 years. Boast has served as president of the Maryland State Education Association since 2018. Her tenure saw the implementation of the Blueprint for Maryland's Future. At this week's state board meeting, she introduced her successor.
I intend to dedicate my time as state president of this association and the last decade of my career to empowering and organizing the 75,000 foot soldiers in the work that we're doing, because we want to believe that the decisions and the things that we do in these rooms are critical, and they are, but they get done by us.
When we sit together and we think together and we work together, we get more accomplished. And so as Paul said, we have those amazing 75-foot soldiers. I do think that we also have the opportunity to expand that beyond. It's not just this building and the folks doing amazing work in this building. It's also the community. It's also the local boards. It's everyone's responsibility to make sure that we're uplifting and doing the right by our students.
After she retires, Boast says she plans to take a vacation out of state and just relax. Well, doesn't that sound nice after such a long and fulfilling career?
You deserve it.
Yeah, I know she's looking forward to it. Still to come on CTV News, TSA is expecting record travel for the upcoming holiday.
We have those numbers and what you need to know before heading to the airport after the break.
When I arrived in the U.S. at 19, I struggled to find job opportunities without a high school diploma. My name is Ariel, and my entire life changed when I took a chance and I got my high school diploma at age 22. Every dream I have My education, my career, my marriage, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and my teachers. They were with me every step of the way, helping with my English and math, making sure I pushed through all the challenges. Oh my goodness.
So Ariel, we made this yearbook for you. It has notes from all the people that are here. Your achievement has set an example for so many students. Most importantly, your daughter.
Education was the key that unlocked all my opportunities.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Welcome back. State police need your help in finding a missing man in the county. Take a look at your screen. This is 54-year-old Mark Mathis of Odenton. He was last seen on Wednesday at 8:30 in Anne Arundel County. Now, his Chevy Silverado was last seen at 11:30 in the Brooklyn Bridge area in Prince George's County. State police found his truck after following a single vehicle crash. No one was found in the vehicle. Anyone with information on Mathis and his whereabouts is asked to call police at 301-345-3101.
And today marks the 6th anniversary of the Capitol Gazette mass shooting that claimed the lives of 5 journalists in Annapolis. Here's footage from last year's ceremony at the Guardians of the First Amendment Memorial. The families of the victims asked for a more solemn acknowledgement this year. A private moment of silence was held at the Baltimore Sun, the Gazette's parent company, this morning. This was the largest mass shooting of journalists in United States history.
If you plan on traveling for the upcoming July 4th holiday, pack your patience. TSA expects to screen more than 32 million flyers until next weekend. This past Sunday, TSA broke the record for the most people screened in a day, screening nearly 3 million individuals. Travelers are advised to arrive at the airport early, reserve parking online ahead of time, and prepare for the unexpected. TSA is also predicting this summer to be the busiest summer in the air yet, with people taking vacations, going to summer camp, and attending sporting events.
And the county's health department has found a 3rd rabid raccoon in College Park. Animal Control picked up the raccoon at the 3600 block of DePaul Place. It was found with multiple wounds and appeared ill on June 1st. The State Department of Health confirmed that it had tested positive for rabies on June 25th. The 2nd raccoon was found on April 23rd and the 1st on April 11th. If anyone or their pets has had contact with a raccoon in the area, please call 301-583-3751.
Are you looking to keep your child busy, but of course safe this summer? Well, the county has just the right thing for them. The Prince George's Parks and Recreation has kicked off its Safe Summer Youth Campaign for children 10 to 17 years old. Under the program, county-run community centers will have extended hours for youth and teens to participate in activities. The initiative will also allow kids to have access to county-run swimming pools, as well as outdoor movie night viewings. Tonight, the movie Sing 2 will be played at the Accokeek Neighborhood Park beginning at 7 p.m.
Well, we know the importance of productive activities for our youth to be engaged in the summer. You know the saying about idle hands. So we want to make sure that there are plenty of programs that are easily accessible all throughout Prince George's so that we can keep our youth active and productive.
To participate in these activities, children must have a youth ID, which are free. For more details on the county's Safe Summer Youth Campaign, visit the website on your screen. And still to come on CTV News, we have our Friday sports page.
That's right, and we're talking baseball from Bay Sox to Orioles, so stay tuned.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that the big homie needs help too. That you can't just rebound from everything. I know you've been grinding.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. I wonder why we waited so long. I'm not wondering anymore. Love, your mind. Let's see how far we can go.
The Bowie Bay Sox are now on a 2-game winning streak following their game last night in Pennsylvania. The Bay Sox took down the Fightin' Phils 3-2 last night. They will have 3 more matchups against the Fightin' Phils this weekend as they complete their series road trip. The streak improves the Bay Sox record to 34-37 on the season.
And sticking with baseball, the Baltimore Orioles posted a dominating performance last night at Camden Yards, beating the Texas Rangers 11 runs to 2. 4 different Orioles players hit home runs yesterday as they improved their record to 51-30, making the Orioles the second best team in the American League and the first in the American League East. The Orioles will face the Rangers again later today.
And pivoting to the world of basketball, the Washington Mystics lost a hard-fought game to the Connecticut Sun in overtime. The Mystics led the entire first half of the game, but a strong second half from the Sun tied up the game and sent it to overtime. Suns guard DeJohnny Carrington scored 10 of her 22 points in overtime to keep the Sun in the winning column. The Mystics will take on the Las Vegas Aces at home tomorrow.
History has been made in the NBA as Bronny James, the oldest son of LeBron James, has been drafted to his father's team, the Los Angeles Lakers. The 6'1" guard who played at USC last season was drafted in the second round. This will be the first time a father-son duo will be playing together in the NBA.
In the history of the NBA, there's never been a father and a son that have shared an NBA basketball court, and that feels like something that could be magical.
Okay. LeBron has been playing in the league since 2003, a year before Bronny was even born. How crazy.
Quite a matchup.
I can't believe that.
Know what to say, but let's get a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, expect cloudy skies to kick off the weekend.
Saturday, we're back in the 90s, and it'll be mostly cloudy during the day, but expect showers around 8 p.m. Sunday is going to be hot with a high of 94, but those showers and thunderstorms are here to stay. Monday, we get a break from the rain. It's getting to be a beautiful day with a high of 83 and a low of 64.
Now for a look at our community calendar, pack your lawn chairs and bring your snacks down to the National Harbor. Movies on the Potomac will be showing Trolls Band Together this Sunday.
The film chronicles a main troll Branch and its 4 brothers as they perform in a boy band. The movie starts at 6 p.m., so don't be late.
And that wraps up CTV News for now. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you again on Monday. Good night.